completed loans. We've had 1,003 loans finish their life cycle. And we consider a completed loan, we measure a completed loan 3 different ways. We can get our money back, which is green. We can get a property back, which is red. It's not what you want, foreclosure. Or yellow is a short sale. And so you can see about 2.5% of the time we have a result that's not a good result. So it's a pretty good track record. I would anticipate that with some of the difficulty in the market, maybe this will take up to 3%. So just, you know, if you're buying private notes, to be conservative, I would probably underwrite to like 5% and say, okay, well, let's say I participate in 20 notes. If one of them goes off the rails, am I going to be okay, right? So, but you can see our track record here about 2.5%, and in a negative result. Whoops, I need to be in focus. Can you click me into the? Oh, thank you. There we go. Okay. This is the current portfolio. So these are active loans, right? So these are active loans. Most of the portfolio is current, but you can see the distress buckets there in the non-green colors. Let me try the laser pointer. Oh, you know what? It doesn't show up as a screen. It's okay. So this is the current portfolio. So the green loans are good. The colors that are not green are in some form of distress, whether it's 30 days late, 60 days late, 30 days matured, or 60 days matured. The most concerning bucket is going to be your 60 plus matured. That means that we did not agree to extend with them and it's not going well, right? So that's the most concerning distress bucket. Some of the other distress buckets really aren't that bad. If you have a reason, like we have a lot of loans where if it's in the 0 to 30 day matured bucket, you know, a lot of those, they mature today, they pay off next week. It's a week of default interest, but it's really no harm, no foul. So what I'm saying is these distress buckets are not equal. The 60-day matured is the most concerning. Recently matured and recently late are not nearly as bad as the severely late, severely matured. And the goal is obviously to take the loans that are not green and make them green here. Okay. So those are sort of the graphs we manage or that we measure in servicing. Big Kahuna is our biggest loan of the year. So I'm going to do something special at Christmas for this person or whoever's the biggest Kahuna for the whole year. Right now, it is still Christian, 1.6 million in Longwood, Florida. So let's give him a hand. Good job, Christian. You guys have 3 to beat this number. So 1.643. We'll see if anyone, can beat this this loan. But yeah, it was a good deal too. I looked at it the other day just to make sure it was still good. Makes you nervous a little bit. Okay. Third quarter's top producer, Jamie, 30 units, almost $5 million. So good job, Jamie. All right. Third quarter office champion. So this is voted on by Pure Vote. This is someone who exemplifies their core values in everything that they do. You know, this is very important to me and to the company. So third quarter office champion, Bree. Good job, Bree. Absolutely. So good. No, seriously, what you know with the book shares and the, helping us with servicing and just understanding the company as a whole, it's been good. So happy to have you on the team.
Thank you.
Okay. So our purpose, I shifted the words around a little bit here. I wanted to be a little bit clearer here. So when you talk to an investor, I want you to get this purpose across to them. So this should come across in all your communications and in everything you say. So we specialize in fast closings for real estate investors. So I really want to focus on speed because I believe it's a true differentiator in this market. And this market is crowded. There's a lot of options. So I think we need to become very clear with what we bring to the market. And I'm hoping that sort of this mission statement will clarify a little bit about what we focus on here at Central Linden. Okay. The core values remain the same, be better than yesterday. So this is all about just, I want to look around at a team that's bettering themselves, that from year to year, you guys are improving yourself because the company's also improving itself, the company's growing, and I want to be surrounded by people that are interested in growing themselves. Act now is a big one for us. This is about taking initiative, not waiting until the last minute to get stuff figured out, but really having a sense of urgency is very important in this business. Solving problems in a very quick and aggressive manner. I just can't state how important that is to really take the initiative and control your own destiny. Success through innovation is another core value of ours. We are a young company that's growing quickly and throwing systems out and adding new systems in and developing our own software, and that can frustrate some people. And to be successful here, I feel like you have to be able to quickly adapt to new systems and even suggest your own systems and your own solutions. So really that's about being effective and embracing technology and embracing positive change. The relationships piece kind of goes without saying, but in a world that's very tech focused and AI focused, relationships are going to be a differentiator. So meeting your borrowers, going to their job sites, doing content, doing your own events that are live, doing dinners, like doing pop-up events, whatever it is, whatever you can do to build those relationships is going to make you a differentiator. You're not a differentiator if you can enter a deal into a calculator, right? A robot can do that. So you become a differentiator by building those relationships with our borrowers. It creates a lot of value in a crowded market right now. And then, of course, ethics over everything. We're handling a lot of money here. We're sending a lot of wires out on behalf of third parties a lot of the time. And so I feel like that should be obvious. But there's really a zero tolerance for kind of looking the other way on those types of issues. So I have some news and updates. This is a pretty cool section this quarter. There's a lot more here than there has been, and we've been working really hard behind the scenes. Leverage, 92.5% is our max. We've moved some tiers around 2.5%. And background events no longer trigger the automatic 5%. I felt like we were doing background events and then remote borrower events. We were over prosecuting certain scenarios and then under prosecuting certain scenarios. And so now we are wrapping more context into our exception column. So it's just very good to get that story, get that first deal closed, and then have a precedent for future deals. But background events no longer have a 5% reduction. So if you had a bankruptcy 9 years ago, you might qualify for full leverage if it's a strong deal other than that one case. And if you have a scary felony, it doesn't mean that 5% and you're good. Like it just might not be a deal at all. So it's not just a 5% set it and forget it. You know, we are looking at the story of the deal and whether or not it makes sense for us. So this is a term that I kind of came up with because the DSCR market has what's called debt service coverage ratio, and the higher that number is, the healthier the deal is. And I felt like, I'm a simple guy. I felt like, could there be something like this for fix and flip? And so, this is just Andrew's algebra, right? But I came up with this simple ratio. I felt like calculating profit when you don't know closing costs is kind of hard to do. And everyone can do their own modeling for profit and hold time and this and that. But I thought, is there a simple way to test feasibility for a deal? So I came up with this ratio. We've plugged it into our ecosystem. It's called a viability ratio. It's very similar to DSCR, but it's for fix and flip and ground up. So all it is ARV in the numerator and deal cost in your denominator. So it's a fraction. And the fraction, the higher the fraction is, the stronger the deal is. And there's a direct correlation between investor profit and loan performance, which is why you hear me harp on deals that don't make sense, usually don't fund. If it doesn't pencil out, usually there is an issue, like farmer doesn't understand us or we don't understand their deal. So just really wanted to focus on sort of this metric. If your viability ratio is under 1.2, it's basically unprofitable. And a lot of people who are new to this industry look at a deal and they see a $30,000 profit and say, how's that not profitable? And it's because they have to pay their lender, they have to pay their holding costs, they have to pay their taxes and insurance while they own the property, maintenance, the market might move, realtor fees, and so on and so forth, or DSCR lender fees if they're refinancing. So what we are looking for here is we are looking for a 1.2 on a fix and flip or a fix to rent, either way. And we're looking for a 1.25 on ground up. And that ratio is in our entire ecosystem. Now, the tough part is deal cost, right? So on purchase, that's pretty straightforward. That's purchase price plus rehab. But on refinance, that deal cost on an aged refinance, that's going to be current value plus construction. And on a quick refi, that's going to be purchase plus capital improvements plus future construction. And I'm going to do a deep dive on this with our internal team probably in 2 weeks on Monday. But just wanted to put this on everybody's radar. This is something we're measuring. And it's not the end of analysis. It's just a very quick metric to give us an overall sense for how healthy a deal is. Okay. We also have been busy trying to figure out how to collect data from borrowers. So I've bought about every software there is in the market, and I've been very disappointed with all of them. Not to mention, I've had Tyler setting up accounts for 62 people on 3 different systems. And so what we learned, sort of the hard and inefficient way, is all of the off-the-shelf software doesn't give us what we need to be at our best. And so about a quarter ago, I really tried to figure out how hard this would actually be to build our own software. And we dove in. And so now we're very early, right? So the software today is the worst it will ever be. And that's the exciting part, is it's just getting better. And we're only 2 months in. So long story short, we've built our own borrower portal, and it's up and it's launched and it's working pretty well. I'm amazed that in 2 months, it's basically better than any application software on the market that you could buy off the shelf, which is crazy to me. I mean, there's people that do this for a living, and all they do is build software and sell to originators, and they can't figure it out. And so we built something that's better than everything on the market in 2 months. And I think that's a real testament to the team we have working behind the scenes there. So we have a custom portal where borrowers can log in view their deal in real time, submit their information. And as I said, it's just getting better every single day. So when you log in and use it, it's the worst it'll ever be, and it's already good. We are developing user roles right now. So that's a big limiting factor. We want brokers, correspondent lenders, account executives, borrowers, and the borrower's assistant. We want everybody in the ecosystem to be able to interact with the same loan file and see where it's at. And so we're developing a very native and pleasant way for everyone to interact with the same deal at the same time. And so I'm very excited for that to get launched. I'm not sure how complicated that problem is to solve, but I'm hoping that we will have something figured out in the next week or two. We've improved our process in the last quarter. After listening to some feedback on your level 10s, it doesn't fall on deaf ears. You know, when we make a good case in the level 10 and there's good discussion, we will change the company's process and we will get better. You no longer need a term sheet to qualify a loan here. So previously, you'd have to get a message on your answering machine, punch your deal into Excel, put it in a different system, export a term sheet, send it off. They'd have to download it, sign it, send it back. You have to upload it. Then you have to click a button to push it through. Like, extremely inefficient if we're going to scale. I feel like we don't need term sheets. They can just see their terms in real time in the portal. So now certain borrowers might prefer a term sheet, and we have a workaround for that. But I feel like to truly scale, we are going to want to train borrowers up on seeing their terms in real time. And so I wanted to remove that friction from the sales process. You can add that friction back in if it's helpful. And there's a temporary workaround for that. Also, in our portal, we have a loan information tab that will tell you how your loan was qualified and what the terms are at clear to close. And if there's a disconnect there, you're not calling your borrower, the borrower's not calling the broker. Like, you're not going back and forth about why did my deal change. It's right there, right in front of your face. Everyone can see it. So if your credit went down a tier and your budget went up 50K and your ARV went down 20K, like it's right there. You're not scrambling through 56 emails trying to figure out why did my deal change. That can be a serious pain point for borrowers and for account executives. So we've attempted to solve that problem with our loan information tab. I love AI. I made this image on ChatGPT. It's like an angry contractor trying to figure out Microsoft Excel. We no longer need to email a static spreadsheet back and forth to our borrower. They can enter their scope of work right in Flow, right from the login screen. And of course, you can do it for them as well, whatever's easiest. Now, obviously, if you have a borrower and they already have a spreadsheet of their rehab budget, you can transpose the data for them. They could do it, whatever. But for someone that's buying a bunch of deals, hopefully they can just put their information in one place and be done with it, and that's in the portal. And we now approve the scope of work up front. So we're not going back and forth trying to fill out detail columns, okay? Because that's been a pain point as well. They tell us they're doing flooring, we don't know what type of flooring. They tell us they're doing appliances, we don't know what type of appliances. So I'm approving the budgets up front. I'm giving them pre-selected detail radio buttons. And then, so what's happening is we're moving a lot quicker, approving budgets, but the challenge here is we're going to have to do a final reconciliation of the budget when we have photos back from the house, because we don't necessarily know if the house needs drywall repair, right, until we get in and get photos. So think of it as a quicker pre-approval on the budget, but more often we're going to need reconciliations later on. So just getting those deals in quickly is extremely important. All right. We are moving in a direction of offering more of a white label service for third-party originators. And I'm pretty excited about this. Milo is my dog's name. It's also Cheyenne's dog's name. I don't know. It's kind of.
That is good for my loans.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, a lot of people think there's a pun there. Yeah, exactly. So another image I did on ChatGPT. Give me a. So anyway, yeah, just weird that. Anyway, so figure how do we come up with a white label thing that we can all call it something we know what it means. Anyway. The point of Milo is to have a centralized system for third-party originators. So this means a third-party broker that's originating a loan. We don't want them in some third-party software and then emailing us and we have to upload the deal. Like, again, we're just creating this friction, which if you're doing 1 or 2 deals a week, you can deal with 7 systems to process 1 loan. But I want everybody doing 3, 5, 10 loans a week. And the way we're going to win that race is by being hyper efficient. So we're going to build the best software for third-party originators. Third-party originators are going to be able to invite their borrower to put the deal in directly. That third-party originator is going to be the brand that the borrower sees, not us. So we don't want to confuse the borrower there. I'm also going to create a system where the third-party originator can use our sizer, but customize their origination fee, add it on top of our sizer, and then that pricing automatically populates for the borrower. So for example, if the third-party originator wants to charge 1.5 points a deal, they don't have to do some weird workaround. They just go into their little admin portal, click 1.5, and then let's say our fee is 0.75. The borrower will click 2.25, and it'll be right in flow with no friction at all. So that's where we're headed. But again, it's a process to get there. And then white label end-to-end for brand clarity. We don't want to compete with our brokers and third-party originators. So we're going to offer more of a white label processing and servicing. We'll provide more details on that as we get closer. All right. Oh, and you get 100 basis points off origination if you are doing Milo originations. This is cool. So we are running our company off the EOS system. And I felt like something was missing because the leadership team does a meeting every quarter, but that wasn't enough. I felt like we needed something else. And so we've started doing department quarterly meetings. And so the servicing team was brave enough to go first and pilot that structure. And really the goal here is to work on big issues, big long-term issues and structural issues within your department, and not what fire am I trying to put out this week or next week. And so this is a chance to really kind of say this process needs refinement. We need a staffing here. We're good here. It's really a big picture meeting to make your department a lot stronger over the next quarter. And so Servicing was brave enough to go first and kind of test that system, and then the other departments will follow shortly here. So excited to see how those go. We've also brought Decision Desk into our processes, and I'm happy we've been able to cut this down to just 3 meetings a week, and they've been running quickly. Decision Desk is very simple. It's a place to document guideline violations and issue guidance on those cases. And what's really cool about this is you can now filter the board by guideline violation. So you can look at, for example, you can look at leverage exceptions, and you can see the 20 times we talked about it, and the 10 times we approved it, and the 10 times we didn't, why we approved it, why we didn't, and then again, that just sharpens the saw on moving deals smoothly through the central lending system. The other thing that I think really good loan originators will do is they'll understand the guidelines ahead of time, and they'll put deals on here before they even qualify, just to get ahead of the issue that they know is coming. Another thing we did is we merged with Duke Allen and Company over the last quarter. So they have a team of 4 there, and we're hoping that that will help us get a lot closer to some of our volume deals here at Central Lending. We also, with this merge, we now have a satellite office in Atlanta, or not, in Georgia somewhere. I gotta get the address still. So, but yeah, I'm excited for that, and welcome to the team. Yeah, to things going on over there. Another thing we did is we are putting in place a $50 per closing charity giveaway. We started this in September. So for September, we closed 44 deals. We're putting aside $50 at closing. So we'll be making a $2,200 donation to our first nonprofit, which is Turning Point. I believe we're going to stick with Turning Point for the rest of the year. And then there will be a chance for you guys to collaborate on nonprofits that you believe in, and collectively as a team decide on which causes we want to support. But I wanted to figure out a way to do something a little bit more meaningful than just pushing loans around. On the capital raising side, we've moved from Verivest in-house technology and their reporting system. We've moved to Agora. So Agora is a third-party software for our investors to log on, see your capital balance, see your investments, your distributions, redemptions, get your statements, get your tax returns, see our audit, see our PPM, your executed noteholder booklet or shareholder booklet. Anything on the limited partner side, we are transitioning to Agora, and I think we're pretty happy about that. At least the team in the back office is happy about that, especially. So I'm excited for that change. I think that's a much needed improvement. In the fourth quarter, we are offering these fixed rate of returns to accredited investors. So if your investment is between 50 and 250, we offer 7% annualized return on a 4-month note. We offer 10% annualized return on a 12-month note, and we offer 10.5% return on a 24-month note. On 250 and above, we offer 7.5% on a 4-month note, 10.5 on a 12, 11 on a 24. And so basically, the bigger the investment, the larger the annualized return, and also the longer the term, the larger the annualized return. And the thinking behind that is 4-month notes are extremely liquid, so they require a lot more disruption to our economics internally, and it's in and then out, so it's not quite as attractive. Whereas a longer note, you're going to get a little bit more opportunity cost there, but we're offering much higher yield for those longer notes. And again, this is for accredited investors only. And the business model there is pretty simple, guys. We pay our investors this, we lend it out, and we try to make a profit on that spread. So I know that a lot of us in the office are on the processing and servicing side, but we have a whole other team in Idaho that deals with the investors, and this is sort of their department. We're going to be doing a webinar Wednesday, October 8th. So Heather is flying into town today. So we're doing a webinar Wednesday and doing some content when they're here. So that'll be good. inside private lending. And next year, we are going to bring back our Investor Summit. So I'm pretty excited for this. So last year we did our first live event, which let me tell you, that's a lot of work. But now we have a trial run, we've bought all the tables, all the chairs, we know how to get lanyards and event booklets and just, we kind of got one under our belt. So now we're going to make a bunch of improvements. And we're going to bring it back next year, but it's going to be way better. So pretty excited about that. And we will have dates here hopefully soon. Some people travel for this. Spring. That's the date.
So close.
The dates. The dates are spring. Oh, man. Yeah, a lot of new people on the team. Welcome. Thank you for being here. Give yourselves a hand. I've got loan originations up here. I've got support up here. I've got processing up here. Yeah, pretty much every department is represented in some way. So really glad to have you guys on board. This is just a QR code for our careers page. We are looking for more help with loan originations, servicing. We just put up I don't know if it's live yet, but some type of couple options in servicing where we need some help. And then admin, maybe?
We have a temp admin starting Wednesday.
Oh, cool. All right, that's solved. So, but anyway, we're changing, things are always opening up, so please check in on our careers page, and if you're the right type of person, we might be able to find us stuff for you, quite honestly. So, let's see. Goals. So our 1-year goals that we set a year ago was 150 million of loan volume. I feel like we're going to miss this one unless we do 60 million in the last quarter. So we're a little bit off track on some of our originations goals. Well, I will say that these were pretty lofty goals, and our year-over-year growth has been pretty impressive. Okay, so I want to be fair there. Our servicing portfolio, I think we're going to be above 100 million by the end of the year because we're at 90 now. So if we originate 40, which is our goal, and we pay off 20, that'd be 110. So I think looking ahead, we need to be kind of ready to handle 110 at the end of the year. AUM, $46 million goal for the end of the year, and invested capital managed, $28 million goal for the end of the year. Now, again, these were set an entire year ago, and we've got finished 3 quarters. So we haven't recalibrated these goals with 3 quarters of data. So I could see some of these moving around a little bit. Some strategic initiatives that aren't numbers related. I'm looking to build out our occupied commercial space here in Lakeland, Florida. So we want to get our permit figured out for the 3rd floor. We want to create a very smooth experience for borrowers and investors to do repeat deals. And I think we've tackled this one pretty well, considering how far we are and we still have 3 months to go. And we were trying to solve this problem by buying a bunch of software off the shelf from third parties and making it work, and it almost created extra work to do that, to do the workarounds to make those third-party systems work, and to just build the thing ourselves. So I'm happy with the direction we're going, and I think we're going to crush this rock for the year. And by the way, that's a proprietary advantage for our company, right? So our competitors are buying, Liquid Logics and all these other softwares that aren't tailored for the company. By us building out our software specific for our products, the borrowers are going to feel that efficiency. So that's a true, and when people ask what's different about the what's proprietary, this is just one of many examples. We want to figure out a way to sort of allow loan approvals to run a bit smoother if I'm out of the office or whatnot. And so we've got to kind of have part of that figured out at Decision Desk, but still have some room to go there. We want to add more institutional investors into our capital stack. We've got 3 months to go. I've got some pretty good conversations going, but this is a tricky one. So I don't want to have one basket or 2 baskets when it comes to our options for secondary market sales. We're looking to optimize our software as a service. So we have a lot of software that we buy in our tech stack. We really want to only buy what we need to buy. Sometimes we have 2 or 3 softwares doing kind of the same thing. So just really looking closely at optimizing what tech do we really need to be effective here. Let's see. All right, so you've been accomplished. Yeah. So Sean, so this was a goal of ours, seriously. It's a big load off of Karen's back. So at the start of the year, we said there's too much chaos, trying to figure out what transactions are what, and it's basically a full-time job. So thank you for stepping into that role. So we've checked this rock off. Audit and tax. We want to be able to deliver to our investors a K1 and an audit before the filing date. Right? It's a simple goal. We need to be able to do this. So that's a big priority of mine. And so kind of being appropriately staffed up and organized will help us accomplish this. 90-day goals. Whoops. So I plugged this in at the last minute. That's why there's no animation, because I don't know how to do it. Anyway, loan volume. So last quarter's goal was 40 million. We didn't hit it. So I'm keeping this quarter's goal the exact same. Not raising it, not lowering it, and we're just keeping it where it's at. That's 200 closings at a $200,000 average loan. 200 closings, if we have 12 account executives, and I checked this morning, we do, and that's without me producing or Jason. So if we have 12 weeks in the quarter, we have 12 and a half or something. 13, I think it's 13 weeks in a quarter. Yeah, 13. Anyway, rounding down to 12, conservative numbers. 12 weeks times a closing and a half a week times 12 account executives, that's 216 closings. So that's above what we need by 16. So if I can get everybody on the sales floor to do 1.5 closings a week, that's without me doing any originations and without Jason doing any originations, we will be over our 200 goal for the quarter. Similarly, we have 6 processors. Now there's more in that team, but not counting Cheyenne or pre-processing. Times 12 weeks, times 3 closings a week, also 216. So you can kind of see where I'm going with this. We're trying to not just pull numbers out of the air to stick them on a level 10 to just kind of go through the motions. Like, we want to be really intentional about our goals and then how everyone can measure success in driving the company towards those goals. Qualified loans. So if we qualify 350 loans in the next quarter, that's 12 AEs for 12 weeks. That's 2.5 qualified loans a week. That's 360 qualified loans. So we beat our goal by 10. And I was just doing round numbers, kind of messing around. Quoted loans. So if we quote 1,600 loans and we have 12 AEs working for 12 weeks, quoting 12 deals a week, that's 1,700 and change for the quarter. That's beating our goal by 100. And these are just quotes. It's just putting the deal in the system, setting it up, and you're going to lose some deals, you're going to win some deals. So just identifying loan opportunities is really the top of the funnel, and that's what makes loan originators successful. The active servicing portfolio, I feel like this goal is a little low. I think it's going to be more like 110. The AUM goal and the investor capital goal might need to be recalibrated a little bit. Those are lagging a little bit because of our financials being 30, 60 days behind, 30, 45 days behind. So I don't have super tight numbers on those today. But originations goals, I'm very focused on. That is revenue generating, and that keeps everybody, that keeps the company healthy. That's oxygen for the company. So I put this slide together too. What I'm noticing in some of these level 10s is I'm noticing week after week after week go by, we're missing our number. It's red, it's issued, but then it's a 2, it's a 3, or it's I'll figure it out on my own. And I really don't like that approach. I really want you guys to be bold and be accountable for your own numbers and your own results and how you measure success. I want everyone to understand data. I want us to understand our own data, understand the science behind it. Like, we didn't just pull these numbers out of the air. There's a real kind of process here. Especially in the sales level 10, it's a lot better for you to issue a production data number being off, and as I said in the slide, I want you to be selfish. I want you to make your thing a 5, go in and fix it, and get help from your colleagues. I don't want you to pretend it's not a problem, because I'd rather have you issue your data thing and fix it than become a company liability, because that leads to unpleasant decisions that I will have to make. So go in, fix it, get the solution in place, and then, crush your goals. And of course, get help from your colleagues, right? If you're qualifying 1 loan a week, or you're closing, if you're processing 2 loans a week, whatever the deal is, and someone else that has these way different numbers, it's a chance to work together as a team. What are you doing? What am I doing? What can I do better? What's working for you? So I want to fight the temptation to treat our level 10s as a chance to go through the motions and really try to get the most out of that time that we have with each other. So I put the slide together for that. Okay, I'm changing a few things here. So fourth quarter's goal. I want this to be more of a we're all in this together thing. So everyone is going to participate in this. So whether you're on a sales team, you're remote, leadership team too, everyone's in. The only exception is just brand new hires, so that's not fair. But if you're on this call now, you would be eligible, because this would be probationary period ends in 9 months. So this would just not apply for anyone that joined in December, for example. So anyway, if we hit our goal of $40 million of originations, everyone on the team's getting $1,000. I don't care what seat you're in or where you're at. We are all going to participate in this one common goal. Okay? And if we find a way to hit $50 million, that'll be a $1,500 bonus for the fourth quarter. Okay, so I'm keeping it where it was third quarter. We had a little bit of a dip there. Brought some new blood in. So I think 40 is a good challenge. I think it's a fair challenge considering the size of the team. And 50 is in reach, but we are going to have to really hustle to hit it. Book club, we're going to keep that going. I think that was pretty cool. But I'm not going to do it every week. I'm actually going to get back to doing more talks about challenges that we're having. So maybe once a month. It's kind of what I'm thinking for this. Maybe twice a month, but it's not going to be every single week. So there's going to have to be sort of scheduling this around. So I'm doing some talks about, credit changes and things on the fly. So I want to use that time to get back to that cadence. All right, at the end, see if there are questions. I don't think there was a lot. So
Traction Woo.
Traction Woo, is that it? That's all I got?
That's all you got.
Traction Woo.
You got a lot on Instagram. Right down as well.
Yeah, that's just personal Instagram. I don't know what.
No, on Instagram, his phone.
Oh.
Well, you want to
Oh.
read it? Is there anything on there? It's probably someone trolling me. This guy's not seeing that. It's the haters, It's probably some haters on there. It's like, we couldn't figure out how to tie Instagram into StreamYard, so I just threw the phone up last minute.
Do you know when you're planning on building up the third floor?
I would really like to do it next year.
Okay,
Yeah, and then we'll get windows.
yeah, to have it completed by next year?
And no fluorescent lights. LED lights and windows. Sure.
Holding you to that.
Purple, yeah. Purple, lime green. All right, guys, really, if there's no questions, we will kind of get back to work. What do you think? All set?
Just the Traction Woo.
All right, Traction Woo. So, yeah, thanks. We're gonna do this again probably right at the start of the year as a yearly recap. And then we will do an internal call, I think, for the Christmas party. So hopefully we can be here in 3 months saying, oh my gosh, I can't believe we hit our 50 million. So that's kind of where I want to be in 3 months. So I hope you guys are with me. All right. Thank you.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everyone.
You gotta leave it.